Okay, parents, your kids are going to turn out just fine.
This episode of the podcast is brought to you by FOCO. That's FOCO, F-O-C-O. If you are a parent of a child or teen with ADHD, you know how challenging it can be to keep them focused and engaged. FOCO is the all-natural solution for ADHD, whether it's for school, homework, or just everyday activities. FOCO helps your child or teen stay calm and attentive. Before trying prescription drugs like Adderall that can come with harsh side effects, I recommend you try FOCO. Visit ThinkFOCO, that's ThinkFoco, thinkfoco.com for more information. Welcome to the Your Kids Will Be Fine podcast. I am Dr. Michael Malofsky, board-certified pediatrician here in beautiful Castle Rock, Colorado, parent of 7, grandparent of 3. Here on the Your Kids Will Be Fine podcast, we strive to cut through all the noise and the overload of information parents receive these days from all sources and try to cut to the most important things that parents really need to know. And hopefully in the process are going to lower our anxiety, make us feel better about our jobs and our process and our journey as being parents. So find us on all platforms where you can get podcasts. That is Spotify, Apple Podcasts, any other podcast platform. Look for us on our website, yourkidswillbefine.com, where you can download every episode, leave comments, leave show suggestions. Find us on our YouTube channel on Your Kids Will Be Fine podcast. And now we are heading into back to school. And if you are a parent, especially a parent of a middle school or high school kid, I think that this time of year brings up a lot of anxiety about what we do as parents. I think all of us as parents worry about our child's long-term outcome, how they're going to develop as adults. Are they going to be successful people? How much their high school experience and their grades and the person they turn into through high school translates into being a successful adult. And I know that all of us, all parents are often battling with the process and with our children at times and trying to engineer some of that, trying to push our kids and mold our kids and guide our kids and show them that what they need to do to be successful and how to go about it and try to avoid the mistakes that we made. And there's no question that that brings up a lot of conflict during the school year. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about who your kids are and why they turn out the way they turn out. If I want to also disclose and share that these are not my original ideas. I got a lot of what I'm saying today from Dr. Russell Barkley, PhD. He is one of the most preeminent writers and thinkers on childhood developmental psychology, ADHD, and I think that he has a lot of great things to say here. And when I read his material and when I listen to his content, this is the point he brings up over and over and over. Through the last 20 years of research in neuroimaging, behavioral genetics, neuropsychology, and developmental psychology, it is abundantly clear that your child is born with over 400 psychological traits that will emerge as they mature. And that most of the traits, not most, all of these traits, have nothing to do with you or any choices you make with your parenting. The idea that parents can engineer IQ, academic achievement, personality, athletic achievement, that idea is simply nonsense. And I think this idea that parents, if we just find the right magic combination for our kids, that we will somehow flip a switch and turn them into this vision of what we want for success, is a race to nowhere. It simply isn't true. Your child is not a blank slate on which you get to write, says Dr. Barkley. Your child is a genetic mosaic of your extended family. They're a unique combination of traits that run in your family line. That as parents, we shouldn't think of ourselves as engineers. Dr. Barkley prefers the metaphor of parenting as being a shepherd. You're a shepherd to a unique individual soul. Shepherds are powerful. Shepherds pick the pastures in which the sheep develop and grow. They are responsible for nourishing and protecting and nurturing the sheep. Shepherds are important, but they don't design the sheep. So I think that this is an important thought for two reasons. I think the first reason that we can decrease the amount of conflict that we generate with our kids around trying to engineer or needing them or wanting them to be a certain way, and having a little more grace and flexibility with our kids, and perhaps improve the relationship with them, because we see ourselves more as shepherding their unique traits, their unique personality, the unique expression of who they are, and not necessarily trying to engineer an outcome. And the second is that we can forgive ourselves as parents a little bit more. We can give ourselves a little more grace to know that, our job is a lot simpler and more straightforward than we sometimes think that it is. And that it's not on us to turn our child into something that they may not actually be and isn't really the expression of who they are. But we can allow them to emerge and flower into who they actually are based on the traits that they were given at birth. And our job is to nurture, protect, promote, to teach, to guide, but not to engineer. And I think if we think of our jobs more that way, I think that we can be a little bit more forgiving for ourselves and perhaps a little less anxious about every decision that we are attempting to make along the way, knowing that most of them are not going to necessarily impact some great long-term outcome in our kids, that they're going to happen regardless because they are who they are. And it's a beautiful thing that they are. So let's work on that this back to school season and this entire school year. Let's focus on building our relationship with our kids, a loving, nurturing relationship with our kids that isn't overly focused on engineering an outcome, but celebrating perhaps who they already are, because they are just an expression of our family line, as Dr. Barkley says. So I hope this helps. I hope this lowers our anxiety this school year. I hope this gets our school year off to a better start, both emotionally and academically. And don't forget to check us out on all the platforms. And we love to hear from our audience. We love to hear show ideas. And we are looking forward to being back with you next week for more Your Kids Will Be Fine.